I really don't think we are now going to have a no-deal exit, one way or the other, either because the Prime Minister's deal is accepted by or on the 12th, or because we form an alternative majority and carry through a different deal. One way or the other, I think we will now have a Brexit. I don't think there'll be a referendum with a deal that's been approved by the majority of the House of Commons one way or another. Having said that, we can now ask the hypothetical question, if the Prime Minister hadn't made this decisive shift, what there would have been is very severe risks, because most of what would have happened is not things we would have been in control of. It would have depended on the goodwill of people on the other side of the Channel. And that might have happened to a greater or lesser degree. And that was the risk that I, for one, was not willing to subscribe to my country taking, because I don't think our country would have forgiven us, and I don't think it would have been right to forgive us. So you then ask the question, what would also have happened to the Conservative Party if that course had been followed, and if the risks had materialised, which is a further speculation, because they might or might not have materialised. And what I was trying to warn my colleagues, in fact I've tried to warn them in a series of speeches over the last few months, is that it would not be somebody else, the EU, the Almighty, or whatever, the Labour Party or something, that would be blamed. No, it would have been the governing party. And I think under those circumstances, we would have had to expect a decade or two in the wilderness. Because if you think back to Black Wednesday, which is a similar sort of event where we didn't need to do what we did, and we did it because we made a series of errors. Nobody wanted it to happen, but they got themselves into a position where the logic led to that. What happened was that we had a succession of actually quite good, but anyway, Labour governments. On this occasion, if it had gone wrong, if the risks had materialised, it wouldn't have been 13 years or something of Blair-Brown governments. No, it would have been a Corbyn government. And so what I was trying to say to them is it's not just a question of what would happen immediately to our country if the risks materialised, which is my main concern, nor just a question of what would happen to the Conservative Party, but what would happen to the country after the Conservative Party had suffered the consequences of those risks materialising, namely that it would be governed by Corbyn for a long time, probably with a very big majority. And if you want to create circumstances of Venezuela, that's what you would have done. This is the reason why I was willing to go out on a limb with many others, work on a cross-party basis to prevent all that happening, because I really didn't think that that was a sensible way forward.